Yes, what's happening, my friends? Welcome back to episode number 99.9. Tomorrow is episode 100, the last day of the week. Can't wait for that one. Hope everyone is well. Yes, yesterday there was no live stream. The market was is in a range, so at certain moments in time, I prefer to stay out of the market here. Cannot always stream every day because it always forces us to trade every day, or at least we're trying to avoid trading every day if there is no good setup right there, right? So therefore, sometimes we're going to have those days where we have no stream. Anyways, today we have a little bit more potential. So let's talk about that. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. Welcome back, my friends. Let's get the party started. Let's see what we have in the chat. And let's make it an amazing stream, man. Oh, the chat pops up right there. Fuji, my friend, good to see you. Amin, my man, how you doing? Hey, Jas, hey, man, good morning. Isabella. Amin, Jason, how are you? Good morning, Jason. Leon, how are you doing? Derek, yes, good to see you. Giru, good to see you, my friend. Thinking Heavy, welcome. Somas. Who else do I see that I know? Robel, Jameson, how are you doing? Yes. Good, man. Okay. Let's make it work. Yes. Welcome back, my friends. Good to see you all. Okay. Welcome back, my friends. Yes, sir. Another day, another session. Okay. Yesterday, no stream indeed. Sometimes there are moments where I decide to just not stream because I don't see any option, any trade that I want to take. Okay. Sometimes that happens. Usually when the market is in a reversal play, or is in kind of like a reversal setup or scenario where the market is in a dubio. Okay, let me explain what I mean. So for example, when the market itself is bullish, like gold has been over the past couple of days or weeks, we have seen that gold has been pushing up higher, breaking out, right, continuously pushing up. And then there are moments when we have these expansions, but there are also moments when we reach, okay, major resistance, okay? And this is one of those levels here. And I'm gonna go and zoom all the way out, literally all the way, okay? Because I'm on the 3-month time frame right now, okay? Yeah, you heard it correctly. The 3-month time frame, okay? Yeah. Why the 3-month time frame? Well, look at this right here for a second now on gold, and look at where we are and why we are where we are, okay? You can see that around the 4700 area, we are actually initially dealing with what we call the quarterly open, okay, of the previous quarter, or you could say the quarterly close of the first quarter of the year, okay? So Q1, all right? We opened at the bottom and we closed at the top, all right, at the 4700. Q2, we opened there and we came all the way down to the 4000. And Q3, we opened at 4000 and now we are now back at the 4700. So do you understand why this is such an important level to pay attention to? And why usually we tend to consolidate a little bit at that area of resistance? Well, it's just a major level to look at, okay? So if you then go to the daily, you understand, okay, the daily is bullish, but you've reached major resistance now because of the fact that you're dealing with that quarterly open, right? Of the Q2 and the quarterly close of the Q1, okay? So therefore, major level, you can see that gold is kind of, losing its momentum a little bit. Also, the dollar is getting stronger, right? The dollar has been pushing up a little bit right now. This is on the daily time frame, but you can see clearly that the dollar has been doing its best to push up higher, right? We actually had that quick push to the upside here. So overall, what I think is important to pay attention to is to how gold behaves. And when gold is in a range, right, you can tell that gold is in a dubio, because if the intraday is bullish, okay, but on the higher time frame you're a major resistance, that doesn't make gold necessarily bearish yet, right? And this is kind of the trap that I think a lot of us fall for, okay, is then to think that, okay, we are in higher time frame resistance, so either we look only at shorts or we are gonna break it and we're only gonna look for, you know, longs. But the problem is, it can be both ways. You can have a lot of consolidation here. We can trap a lot of traders here as well, trying to continue the trend, ending up in a range, and then you end up taking trades in a ranging market where, you know, you're constantly getting wicked out of your position or trapped out of your position. Maybe you recognize this, okay? But yeah, what do I do with this, and how do I trade that for now, okay? The following, let's look at the order flow for a second, because that gives us some levels to work with right now at the moment, okay? Predominantly these levels right here that I'm watching on the daily time frame. And what is a very important level, and I actually explained this also in our Telegram already yesterday, in case you've missed it or in case you didn't read this, was actually right here. I actually talked about this exact level right there, okay? But the following is what we're thinking about or looking at right now at the moment here. You can actually see that the only thing that I would like to do now is to take the last daily candle, okay? That was the most bullish, so the most bullish engulfing candle that we saw right here before the range started. Right there, okay? Now, in that candle, we mark out the POC and we say, okay, now this is the last bullish candle where you could see the most volume was traded, and therefore the most buyers stepped in here. You can actually at the bottom it's all green. Well, the most buying took place right there. Do you see that? And this is actually where we are reacting and constantly are bouncing from. So when gold pretends, and when I say pretends, it really is like that. When gold pretends to break down, it immediately bought up at that level, okay? So what is happening is that buyers are still protecting gold from dropping lower due to the absorption that we saw right there, or the amount of aggressive buying that we saw right there, okay? And that is a level that we have been holding ever since, okay? Now, at some point you would say that it could get broken, Okay, at some point you could say that we have to drop and potentially move down to the 4,500, which is actually, in my opinion, the ideal level for gold, because that would give us, in my opinion, a really good, solid confirmation. Because the fact that if you go to the 12-hour time frame or the higher time frame in general, that we have a really clean demand zone sitting there, right? That means that the trend is pretty much, going up, breaking, ranging, pushing up, ranging, pushing down. That's kind of like the first real level where I would be very comfortable again with looking for buys. And actually just simply taking the trend continuation long again, okay, towards the 4,700 area or higher, okay? So therefore, in my opinion, of course, I'm kind of bearish. I think that gold is a bit overextended. I do like how gold is, or how the dollar is pushing up higher, how the dollar is creating, more demand every time right now at the moment here. You can see that right there. You can see that right there. Right, you can also see that the dollar bounced very well from this area right there. Okay, we have some good support right now on the dollar, and we will find major resistance right around here. Okay, why do I think that gold is still strong? In retrospect, the reason why I think the gold is still strong is because the dollar has been pushing up right now consistently. Okay, right there, as you can see, the dollar has been pushing up. Okay, dollar has been creating higher highs and higher lows here, but gold is flat. Gold is not pushing and breaking down, okay? That is, in my opinion, a sign of relative strength that I like for gold, okay? So overall, thank you so much. From that perspective, you can actually see that if the dollar is strong, but gold does not break down, then in retrospect, still gold is, on the stronger side too, right? Because of the fact that the dollar gold never moves in isolation, right? Gold always tends to move in that perspective here. So I do hope that if the dollar pushes up, that gold can come down towards the 4,500. But I think that most importantly, what we need to see now, we need to see this getting taken out, because I think if this gets taken out, we finally can witness a flush to the 4,500 and then start looking for buys again, right? And actually look for buys for the continuation up again. Looking for the long trend continuation. But for now, okay, this is that support where constantly when we do tend to break down, we don't, right? And this is why I'm trying to avoid getting trapped right now in that position. You never know the first time you hit it, okay? Because it could be that it's just a manipulation that immediately flips. But once you see it reacts aggressively from it, I knew the next day would have been a day where you have to just observe. And also yesterday, okay, that's what I mean. Yesterday, it's a day where you have to observe and look at the market a little bit to see how it goes and where it takes us. Yeah, I hope that makes sense right there, my friend. So therefore, on the higher time frame, the range can stay flat, okay? We can just stay in the range as long as we want to stay in the range. Right there, okay, without actually breaking down. But the most important thing is that if we do break down, that the 4,500 is definitely a next clear target to look at, and therefore looking at the reaction or something like that here. So please be careful with shorting now again, okay? That initial manipulation that we saw in that level was not the confirmation, even though it still came down. I think when we took our trade later during the day, actually it did take out the lows right now as well, right? And now we're kind of reacting here. This doesn't necessarily make me bearish now, okay? Yeah, this just shows me that there is still a lot of signals where we could find an absorption, and I'm actually now being a bit more careful because of the fact that it's pretty obvious that this is the major support right there, okay? So this is the moment in the market where, in my opinion, it's about preserving as much capital as possible, because this is a temporary range where we can see that the market is just setting up for a bigger move, either a larger pullback after a long push upwards, a pullback, or a consolidation period for another breakout, right? So really try to preserve your capital. The last thing you should do in these conditions, in my opinion, is to force a lot of trades, because you make a lot of money in this move and then you lose it all in a stupid range because you get constantly wicked out of your position. If that's something that you recognize, let me know in the chat, because it happens to a lot of traders, okay? And I know I know myself that when I see it and I experience also a loss, okay, we're heading into this market now. Okay, I know what to do now. I know what to wait for. I know what to do. Let the market come to me. Yeah, and let not chase the market at any moment because you feel that you have to be in the trade every time of the day, every hour of the day, because that is usually the problem, okay? And that is how we lose money, okay? It is you make money, but then you lose money in those conditions where you know you should have just been more patient and you're not because you want to trade so bad, and then you lose it again. And that's a constant loop, okay? So the problem is you get confused, right? You get disappointed, and then the real move starts and you're no longer mentally capable of taking those trades because, you know, you're already in in a more negative type of view because of the previous couple of trades you've taken or something in a condition that didn't really apply to it. Okay, so let's pay a lot of attention to what happens here right now at the moment. Let's see what we can do right now. You can also see right here that on the 4 hour, this is that major level that I'm talking about right there. Okay, usually I don't really look at order flow too much on the higher time frame unless it is a reversal situation like what we're in right now, where we look to see if the market will reverse or not, right? That is the only moment when I use the order flow on the higher time frame, because it gives us the opportunity to look at the daily, okay, and understand this last strong engulfing candle, which is full of information, by the way. This one right there, full of information because of the fact that we have a lot of orders sitting there. And sometimes the orders are at the top, you know, the most orders are executed at the top. That's then where you find support. Sometimes it's at the bottom, right? Then you know you have more room to the downside, or sometimes it is right here and you already close below this. And when you close below it, you know most likely you will have to push down to that area as well. Okay, so yeah, right now I would say wait either again for the re-break of the lows. Then I think we'll actually do break the lows here. We actually break this area this time, okay, which is this one, okay, finally. And then we can flush down and target the 45, the 4,500 in my opinion. And that's actually a pretty big move because, you know, there's a lot more momentum then to the downside, okay. One thing is for certain, after we took out the lows here, we never came back up to the highs, all right? We always stayed flat inside of the range, and we never really did that. We never really did what we had to do right there, okay? So yeah, the unfortunate truth might be a bit boring, but that is also what trading is about. It is about being sometimes patient enough for you to be willing to sit on your hands until you are back in the market, knowing exactly what you're looking for, knowing exactly what to trade, okay? And these are the specific setups that you're looking for, but then you of course have everything that you need, okay? And that is the confirmations, the setups, and the things like that. That makes the most sense here, okay? The only condition that I say is the condition where you have to wait for this, where you have to be a bit more patient, is when the market is in a dubio, okay? So internal range on the 4 hour, on the 1 hour is bullish, but you reach major resistance and you see it reacting from it, but you're not breaking down. So you're not pulling back, you're just ranging, okay? You're just in a range. That is the condition where the market is setting up for either the reversal, right? But because people want to snap that reversal early, including myself, I still get caught up to that sometimes, but I know when to adjust immediately. That is the moment when you have to be sharp, okay? And wait for the right moment, right executions and the right setups. And once that reversal is there, okay, it's pretty clear, right? You either look for the healthy pullback longs again, or you actually are quote unquote bearish when you actually see that the market is really weak. But that makes it a lot easier already from that moment right there, okay? Okay, cool. All that makes sense here. We have a little bit of an opening gap, okay, on futures as well as on the spot. So yeah, I do expect that gap to be filled. right now. Yes. So anyways, kind of shared this last thing as well here in the Telegram, right? Major higher time resistance, clean breakdown with confirmation could offer shorts towards that area. And my focus for now in the next stream is the higher time from development. If support breaks, we leave the range, I look for shorts, right? All the 5 to 15 minutes towards the 4,500. If it doesn't break and we fake out again, so we're really gonna watch for that, okay? We can look for a quick bounce, long trade idea, okay? So that means that even though we are here, right? If let's imagine we take out the lows and we immediately pull back with a strong wick and we hold support here and we break back up, then longs are back, okay? Again, and we just anticipate the continuation of the range for the session right here, okay? Yeah. Gold futures, you were really missed yesterday. Please don't stop joining us. The live just isn't the same without you. Modbot. Yeah, the thing is, man, sometimes we will not take any trades, you know. I know the majority of the chat doesn't want that. The majority of the chat wants me to take trades. Then I have to make a decision, right? If I know I'm not going to take a trade throughout the session and I'm just going to do an analysis, are some people willing to deal with that? Are some people, yeah, do people still like that is the question, right? That is kind of the big question. If it's a no, I just want to trade, then yeah, then are going to be streams that I don't stream, or days that I don't stream, pretty much. Because, yeah, some days I know what I can do, and that is be better sitting on my hands instead of being active in the market. And but this is what happens when you trade every day or stream every day. You're gonna have days like that, right? So it depends. Okay, it depends. May I know the reason for missing yesterday's trading? Is this a psychological break to recover after a loss? No, this is just there is a condition where we are in an uptrend. We may face major resistance right here. Okay, this is that resistance that we're facing. But the market doesn't look weak. The market looks bullish, actually still, right? The trend itself is still bullish. Then you reach a new era, a new phase. And the new phase means this phase right there, the consolidation phase. And sometimes you need to give it some time to develop because the most losses occur there. The most day trading losses for me occur there, always. Okay, it's that initial reversal after a trend. So this is where I know I have to give it time to develop, to give me more insights in where we stand before we continue. And that's it. That's the simple reason why. Okay, the trend at the end of the trend potentially entering some sort of consolidation era where gold pretends it's weak, but it's not, and it's holding. And then you know, okay, the only trades that you can take are those manipulations, right? Where you take out the highs, the lows aggressively, and you pull back. Things like that right there. So sometimes that's what I would look for when the market opens up, right? I would look for the manipulation wicks and then trade that. Yeah. But that depends. That depends when price is moving. And in this case, we were here, right? Oh, sorry. In this case, we were here. We opened there. And we kind of stayed within like that whole spectrum. So yeah, if you look at the candles now and you look in hindsight, oh, it moved down. Okay. But like, you know, if you are here, let's realistically pull back, right? And we are, let's say there, all right? Sorry, we are at the open here. Right there, okay? And we react, okay? We're kind of in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just telling you this from experience, right? I know in the conditions where I just try to avoid trading, or when I'm very specific, where I really look at the lows or highs to be taken out. Like a nice manipulation wick to the downside or upside, and then a retracement. Until this gets confirmed on the order flow right there. That area is clearly where we bouncing from, and that area right there would then be the next target. And that's like an 800 pip move, by the way. It's like a huge move, okay? 600 pips, sorry. 600 pip move. 800 if you take the 4500 in consideration, right? That's an 800 pip move. Right there, so that is pretty big. Yeah. Ape says, maybe a stupid question here, but I have the problem of the right idea, wrong stop loss placement. Can you do info on this and even trading amount ideas? Like how much to trade at certain setups? How much to trade at certain setups? Okay. All right. So for me personally, in a trend trade, okay, pullback scenario or something like that, these are my highest probable setups, like we talked about already in our playbook right here. This one has the highest possible win rate. Okay, it's the low volume pullback trade right there. To me, in a clear trend where resistance or higher time for resistance is still far away or not necessarily there yet, that has the highest conviction and I risk the most. Okay, so I would not say that I risk the most, but I never take profits. Okay, I only enter and I let my trades run all the way until my target, right? And I put my stop loss on break even after the previous highs. Okay, that's it. So it's actually that's very like aggressive, right? I don't take profits along the way. I let this go to full TP. Okay, so that usually can give me like a 5-to-1. All right, R, 5-to-1 R. This is where those big trades come. They don't happen a lot, but when they happen, right, you target those big fat 5R setups, right? Because there are high probability and higher risk to reward ratio. Okay, then you have setups that are more trend related, like these. Okay, when you pull back, also similar, but at the same time, when you trade with the trend and the trend is strong, right? Stop loss break even, I don't take profits. When we're counter trend, okay, so we're in a larger range, but we're pulling back and I'm looking to short this. Okay, stop loss goes to break even and I take profits. I have a TP1. Okay, if we reach major resistance, so we're still long, but major resistance is not far away, I close my trade aggressively earlier, okay, at a high or low. And if we're in a range, okay, usually stop loss goes on break even at the VWAP. Okay, at the VWAP. So when I enter a trade at the bottom or the top, and we look at the manipulations at the highs or lows, and I trade at the highs or lows of a range, stop loss to break even on the VWAP, and I take profits as well here. So TP1 in ranging conditions counter trend, and no TP1 in momentum trades. Okay, right there. And full TP and the full TP also right there. Okay, that is the difference for me personally, and how I take profits, how I manage my positions, etc. Now, what's going to happen in a range? My risk to reward is going to be lower because I take profits, right? My RR is going to be like lower, like a 1-to-1, like a 1-to-5-to-1, right? Whatever, right? But my risk to reward on these momentum setups are going to be a 5-to-1, right? So that creates like an average. Okay, an average. And then according to my win rate, right, if my win rate is, let's say, 70%, so right now my win rate is 70%. Okay, you can look the statistics up, it's 70%. You know, the win rate has to make logical, the risk to reward has to be, or has to make sense. It could be a 1-to-1, it could also be a 2-to-1, right, with a 60% win rate, but it has to make logical sense right there. And it's usually a combination of higher risk to reward and lower risk to reward setups right there. Okay. Yes, so that makes sense. So for now, you can already see that the market is pushing back up again a little bit. Right, we kind of again failed to break down. It looked very bearish, but again, we tapped into this and look what happened, right? We're kind of reacting from it again. So please be careful with shorting here. Please be careful with shorting the market because, yeah, it's so tempting here to short. It's also so tempting here to fall for it, okay? Usually when you manipulate and you don't break down immediately, that's my only chance where I'm willing to short it. Otherwise, when you see that we have clear support now, be careful. Yeah. All right, so yeah, let's see yesterday's POC. Where is it? I think it's above there. Okay, it's right below on futures. Right below. Okay, we're trading above yesterday's POC. That's another reason not to short. Okay. Let's mark out today's profile right there. That is right there. Okay. Okay, so that pretty much means that longs are still like the best idea now in the range, right? Because we're at the bottom of the range, pretty much. We just broke down, we manipulated the lows, we broke out, we retraced, and now we're trying to break the value area of today. So yeah, longs in my opinion are still like the better play now. Question is, can we close above the VWAP? The VWAP is right there. Okay, 6 minutes left. VWAP closure. If we can close above the VWAP and we break above the value area of today, which we haven't done yet right now, but if you do that in 6 minutes, I will be going long. Yeah, I will be going long. Yeah, that's like the only, yeah, I think that's the only way for me to then look for a target at least of the, yeah, I'm pretty much the range again, guys. That's it. First, we're staying in the range right now. And target the POC of the current week, okay? Which is the 4,600 and... Yeah, it's also a range, the breakout and the retest as well. So that is also pretty good. And then we're breaking above this area. I think that is kind of like a setup here. So let's see where we close with VWAP, if it's worth it to go long. Dun, 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 dun. How big is the move actually? That is 200 pips, okay. So the open was bullish. The market took out the lows of the open, the daily lows, and now it's breaking above the very area high, right? Of today. So yeah, this will be probably a pretty decent closure in 3 minutes. And then you see a huge freaking wick, huge freaking candle. And indeed, a lot of people went short here as well. Because it looked bearish, it looked very bearish, yeah? If you look here on the higher time frame as well, the candle was literally red, right? And it really looked like we would flip here. And we would come down here. And this is what this is actually the perfect example of how it induces people to short at the bottom here. Again. And then it does something like this. It creates a huge wick, a huge reversal. Why didn't you take a trade towards the gap? When price was there, the risk reward didn't make any sense, right? Gaps don't always get filled. It's not like, oh, it's a gap, so it has to be filled, or it has to get filled. It's not always like that. Let's see where we close. If we close above the VWAP, that would be amazing. You have to range the breakout retest. Seller stepped in here. Close above those sellers. Let's see. 1 minute, 30 seconds. Yeah, dollar is pulling back as well. I think that's helping gold. Very strong closure though. Wow, look at this 15 minute. That's a big fat 15. That is a big fat 15-minute closure. Strong closure above the VWAP, by the way. Damn. Let's go to the 5-minute. That is strong momentum. Can we pull back into this area here where sellers got trapped? All right. Closure above the failure high. as well. The very high is there. If we pull back to this area, I'm longing for sure. Waiting for this one. Trying to retest the fair value immediately of today. Or we have shifted already, sure. The low volume node inside of it. All right. Yeah, let's give it a try. I'm gonna give it a try right here. Down. We are long, at least right now. We are long. We close above the value area. We took out the lows of the day. We have the range breakout retest, and we're close above the VWAP as well. So I'm trying to see if we could retarget the highs, but preferably what I want to target actually today is the 37. 37. Yeah, 37 is what I would want to target. And then keeping a very close eye on the order flow and the VWAP. I think it's like a one-to-one trade, to be honest. We have the 37, but we also have the value area high right there. At the... Sorry, not the very high, the very low of that previous range at 43, sorry. So that's another level. Maybe I'll set it at 43 in case. So we are reacting from that low volume node right now that we have created here. Okay, I just wanted to clarify this. We're reacting from the low volume node that we have created now. We broke above it. So what happened was the market opened up. It came up first, right, inducing buyers. Then it broke down. It took out the daily low. So it went back to the daily low. It set in a new daily low. We bounced from a range, okay? We broke out of that range already. That's a CERC, right? In our playbook right there. That is what we call a CERC setup, right? Where you have the range, the breakout, the retest, etc. And then we closed above the value area high, okay, above the VWAP, and we tapped into that low volume node right there. And then we waited for the pullback inside of the VWAP or where the most volume was traded, and that's where we went long, okay. And then the target would then be the larger, bigger range that we're looking for, which is that in essence the point of control of the week, okay, of the current week, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and that is the point of control. It's 37. So that's kind of the level that I'm watching right now, and that we hope to target. It's the 37. So let's see if we can do that. I mean, this trade has pretty much all the confirmations, so it's just about probability right now. And I think stop loss should be below the wick, below the 50-minute low, which is also below the VWAP, of course. So you see this current moment, we're kind of retesting the value area. You see that? We're actually tapping into this and now we're retesting the value area. Now that we closed above it. So where's the entry? The entry is at entry is at 18. Yeah, so it's not the biggest RR, but again, that's what happens in ranges. You have to sacrifice your Rs in ranging markets. And then target the bigger Rs when we actually do trend again or break out. And then get that average, you know. That's what we're looking for. All right, was a good closure. Let's see if we can close above the zone 2. The more sellers are entering but failing, pretty much. Lorenzo, I should have put my stop loss on break even. I'm giving it a bit more time. Okay. If we would close above those highs, for example, here, then I would say, yeah, then I will do it. It's a bit too early still. Yeah, it's definitely getting absorbed for sure. But at the same time, we are facing some resistance now as well. Like, we don't really want to break through. If we break through that, then it's in essence an immediate break-even trade. I mean, I would say for sure, because there is then no reason for us to get back to that level. Lorenzo, is the DX feed some bookmap? The DX feed is the Xau charts. It is the Xau charts, yes. So this is where we look at the volumes. Like, for example, on the 50-minute now, you see that we close above the VWAP right here with a lot more volume. Okay, a lot of sellers are here in this area. Okay, you can see this right there. A lot of selling took place. We closed above this with volume and above the VWAP, right? And now we are kind of, you know, we're here. We're having resistance there too. But yeah, we're now in between like two zones. But most of the selling today took place at the bottom. And this is why I'm long, right? I'm trying to go against the sellers right now. Now that we closed above it. But we do have some resistance at the 25s. So I hope we can break it. Because on the 5-minute, we're really struggling. You see that? We're getting bought up. We bought pretty much at the bottom of those wicks. Right there. But we can't seem to like break out. But at the same time, we haven't tested the VWAP yet. We haven't retested the VWAP yet after the closure, which is above here or below our level. And we are definitely still above those sellers that we talked about right there, which is this red box right there. So for me, enough reason to stay in the trade, not to stress. And simply put the stop loss below, because if this trade will be a fail, we probably have to break the lows of the 15-minute here. And pretty much, yeah, re-break below the VWAP again. And actually below the previous candle. So as long as we are holding here, I think we have a lot of support. Stop loss, I think, is a good stop loss below this level right there. So I'm actually kind of cool with it. How to use the VWAP? Yeah, I personally prefer to use the VWAP in the order flow. It seems to be a bit more accurate. I don't know why exactly. It just seems to be a bit more accurate than the other ones I've seen. So the one on TradingView, for example. But yeah, I still use both. I still look at the VWAP as well from that perspective. Right here. We're above this right now as well. What is the VWAP? The VWAP is, or stands for volume weighted average price, all right? So it's kind of like a tool that measures the average price a stock has traded for during the day, right? A stock, or sorry, an asset has traded for during the day. So if you're below this, right, you can understand that according to the session, we're trading above the average price, which shows that usually buyers are, let's say, quote unquote, in control, etc., right? Things like that. And it's volume based, right? So it's one of the tools that I like to sometimes use with combine with the order flow or with the volume profile. Yeah, to be honest, look at this so far. I think it looks, yeah, stable. It's just that we have resistance there at the 26. In those ranges, nothing comes easy. And the reason why is because there's always a level to think about, another level to think about. Yeah, so this is again the daily, right? We're bouncing off of this daily zone. This is like the last candle, right? That has been that strong bullish engulfing with the most green delta. That means that the most buyers stepped in here in comparison to sellers. And this is that kind of the block that is holding us up right now, right? That's kind of the support that we're facing here. So when gold tends to drop and it looks like it wants to come down, every time it gets respected, and it comes back up again. So unless this doesn't get taken out, right, this area, we might still hold on or find support, etc., until we break it, and then yeah, we'll have probably a big flush towards like the 4,500. Nub says, guys, please control your emotions and trust the strategy even when it fails. Exactly, my friend. Well said. Love the mindset. Even when it fails. Even when it fails. I love the mindset. Because if you understand your setups and your playbooks, then you should be good. You know what I mean? Okay, we're now trying to break the highs, right? So that's kind of exactly what we wanted to see, is breaking those highs. Now, if we can close above those highs, I think stop loss should be on break even, right? Actually, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. So we have 1 minute left for that. Where should TP be after closure? So this is at resistance now. We close in 8 seconds. 9, 3, 2, 1, closure. Yeah, stop loss and break even here. So it's risk-free. Good job to everyone who was patient and didn't stress, even when it didn't look promising, because it's pretty textbook, to be honest, though. This one is pretty textbook, or was pretty textbook. You can take your profits if you want to right here, TP1. Okay, we are still in a range. Understand, we are in a ranging market, so everything is possible in a ranging market. You just have to be more aggressive with profit taking. The R will make up for it later. Okay, it will make up for it later. Okay, so TP1, and when I say the R will make up for it, we're gonna have higher risk towards setups later, when the market starts moving again, and the average will help us, averaging everything out, pretty much, right? So entry at 461818, stop loss on break even, TP1 taken, right there. Okay. Again, this is why I didn't trade it yesterday. Okay, I didn't trade it yesterday. I know when to trade, man, and when not to trade. That's kind of the the conclusion for me personally. And then the 39 is the 37 is the target. Okay, is the final target. Right there. And the beautiful thing is now you have that level that you broke and that you closed above. So now you have now you have like a good level, right? In between. So now, in my opinion, that's why like a break-even trade makes sense. But taking profits also still makes sense because of the fact that we're in a ranging market. And I've learned the hard way. Not taking profits in ranging markets. I know I have to do that now. After hundreds of trades, I know I have to do that. Statistically speaking, it's better to take profits in ranging conditions and to leave trades running when the market is moving. And you know when gold is moving, right? When gold is aggressively pushing up, you know that gold is unstoppable. Why taking profits? Statistically speaking, that also doesn't make sense, right? So it depends again on the condition. So in essence, it was a retest of the value area inside of the low volume node with a closure above the VWAP after taking out the daily lows at the higher time frame order flow, which we knew has been absorbing us ever since, inducing people to sell the bottom and then reverse up again. So when you put all of those things together, and you also see that we manipulated yesterday late and we broke out of that and we retraced into that with a closure there. Yeah, you just have a very clear long, very textbook long setup. But again, I hope you guys see the importance of taking profits here, right? You guys agree? The importance of taking profits is a real thing because there's always another level to think about in a range like that. There's always another level somewhere. And that's why the ranging markets are never the cleanest. So that's where risk management comes into play. And it's always better to take profits in a ranging condition. And I'm happy that we did that. How do you take partials? If you're a trader, MetaTrader 5, I like to do it on my phone. I personally like to do it on my phone, it's easy. For the partials. I hope we don't have to come down again, but the good part is this time we closed above this, right? We closed above those sellers. That is holding us support right now. So this could be the support that we need to target that level right there, which is then the point of control of the week. And that means we'll reach our full TP. But yeah, let's see if we can do that. How much take profit? 50% was taken here. And then full TP, yeah, was it? Will be at the point of control. So full TP at point of control. Yeah, so if we would reach full TP, right? We already made back our initial trade, our previous trade. Okay. I was patient for 1 day. We would make back our previous trade, plus a bit more. And we are now adapted to the condition. Yeah, and if you put that together, and we have a 70% win rate, we will be fine. And we'll grow our account again, right? Consistently. It's about, okay, a loss is, for me, a loss is nothing more than a piece of information I need to adapt. To adapt to the condition. Okay, so if the loss doesn't give me a reason to become better, or to become smarter, or to understand that the market condition is shifting, right? Then I would not like it. I would like it more to understand, okay, I get stopped out for a reason because of the condition shifting. Now, what was the condition shifting? We went from a strong uptrend to a range. A ranging condition. Now, that is a condition shifting. That means I have to shift. I have to adapt to that situation. Okay? Now, there are rules for that. What situation are you looking for to short it? We need to close below this area right here on the daily. At least on the 4 hour, we need to close below. A 4 hour candle below this zone. Or below this zone. Okay, this green box. We talked about it yesterday, if you would do that. Okay, I said it on Telegram yesterday. I said, that is the current major support here. Okay, that needs to be broken and we can target the 4,500. But I also said if it doesn't break and we fake out again, we can look for a quick bounce long trade idea on the 5-minute time frame, as we still haven't broken support and can easily bounce from here. So it depended on the situation. Yeah. It depended on the situation right there. So yeah, if you want to have those updates on Telegram for free, then just join the link in the description. Dear Professor, I hope you're doing well. It would be excellent if you could explain using candlestick charts exactly when to enter and exit a trade. I think we were pretty clear. Let me know, chat. I always find it interesting. Is Isabella AI? No, Isabella is a real human being. I had a call with her, and I know she is a real human being. She's actually a nurse, and she actually follows the stream in the night time. Think about that. Or in the evening, sorry. Shout out to Isabella. And our new moderator, Georgelina. Okay. We're breaking the highs now. I hope we can close above it. HD not lost. Is her profile picture really her? Does it matter? You're on a trading channel, my friend. Okay, this is a live stream trading channel. Okay, where we try to make some money. Okay, some dineros. Okay, this is not Love Island, my friend. Okay, focus. This is why you guys are freaking failing. Okay, this is why you motherfuckers are failing, because you're too obsessed, too focused, too distracted. Okay, focus on the gains. All right, next closure is in 1 minute. And keep in mind, we are close to the hourly. Okay, the hourly closure too. In 5 minutes. In 5 minutes from now. So we're not that far. We are not that far. What is the level and why? The current weekly POC is the point of control of the week. Okay, it's right here. Take out the volume profile from a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because we're in a range. We're in a range, right? The point of control is the high volume node inside of the range. Most resistance could be the current weekly point of control. So that is a profit-taking target, always. Right, when we tap into that, it doesn't matter if it breaks out, right? If it does break out, great, but you know, you could easily react from here. And I think the target itself made sense. I mean, yeah, made sense. But you should have already taken profit, in my opinion. I know for a fact that for me personally, that is a mandatory. Are you not tempted to extend your TP and move the stop loss up in a trendy market? Yes. In a ranging market, no. I take what I can get in a ranging condition. Come on, hit it. Done. Oh yeah. Restart target right there. Yes, it's pushing up higher, but again, doesn't matter. We're in a range. We followed our rules exactly. In my opinion, this was a textbook setup with full conviction and patience and management. Pretty much everything what I could wish for. Okay? Everything that I could wish for in this market. And what did we lose last trade? Okay. Last trade I lost $1,200, and the good part of last trade was that I closed my trade earlier on purpose. $1,200, and we made $1,500 back. So it's not like a big RR right now at the moment, okay, unfortunately. But we have a 70% win rate. Yeah? So that is fine for now in this condition. Okay. So we made back already what we had before, plus more, and we managed to trade exactly how it was supposed to. Okay. So I think that's the way we deal with it. But now we have more information, right? We are now in a ranging condition and we adapt to that. And we make sure that we follow all our plays, our textbook setups, right? Making sure that we are aware of that, follow all the rules, and go from there. And that's how we're going to grow our account. It's being able to know when to trade, when not to trade, and how to adapt to the condition that is applied at that current moment in time. Now, that's going to help us become profitable over time, right? It is not the FOMO trading. That's not going to help us. It's not knowing what type of setups you're looking for and just looking at every candle and thinking that you need to be in the trade. And if the market moves, that you moved or you feel that you missed out on something. I don't care if the market moves 1,000 pips up or down. If I don't see a setup that I like, I don't take a trade. Okay? So forget about the big candles. Look at specific setups. Trade what you know. Okay? Don't trade the unknown. Don't trade the unknown. That's like the big lesson. Don't trade the unknown. You don't miss out on anything you don't know about. Right? Okay. Anyways, product control I think was a good level regardless. I think this is now where the market has to kind of prove itself, right? The reason why I'm saying that is because, you know, we have the product control of the range. That means right now that we have to kind of observe, okay, what happens here? Because if you close above it, is there then room for a long continuity basis again? Possibly, but you're now in the middle of the range, etc. If there is, then you will know, right? You will see a closure below, and yeah, then probably we'll try to go back to the previous daily highs. But that then could be another trade, let's say another session or another trading idea later, for example, right? It doesn't have to be now, for example. Okay. Yeah. How do I get into your elite? The elite is open. Actually, never even talked about that. The elite is open indeed. Right now, still you can apply. Okay, we opened up 2 days ago. We got a lot of applications in again, which I'm very happy about. We're gonna have 20 more people in our group very soon. You can apply for the Gold Hybrid Trading Elite, where you will be going through this exact system. You will get access to the playbooks, the order flow, okay, the confirmations, the tools, the template of the order flow right here, the valuation index, the strategy, and of course, the live trading inside of our group. We're gonna do the New York sessions right now after we are done with Group C. And yeah, you learn everything about all the market mechanics and all the nuances that you need to know in order to get there. This is usually a promo that I do for a week, and then it's not necessarily anymore. Then we have so many applications that we have to go through, and then usually we get 20 people out of that. And then you don't hear me talk about this for the next 2 months, because we will be closed for another 8 weeks, and then we'll go again. So yeah. If this is you and you're interested in consistency and not in randomness, and you want to actually level up your trading and prepare for Q4, and the reason why I say Q4 is because if we close this quarterly candle, by the way, above the highs here, okay, I am pretty convinced that Q4 will be a trade back towards the momentum highs at the 5600, sorry, the previous highs again. So Q4 will be super powerful, super important to watch when we close above the previous open of Q2, okay? Or the close of Q1. I think this is gonna be incredible. And if you know what happened here, okay? And if you can do that again, and you can capitalize on moves like that, the most money is made in these moves. So I hope you can get ready for that with a good system you can really capitalize on this. And I've been waiting for this. That is why I'm trading gold and nothing else. Because I know that if I just focus on gold in the bad times, okay, quote unquote bad times, right? Then when the good times are coming, we'll absolutely clean up. So if you're tired of being kind of inconsistent, or you've been going through some stuff, then I highly recommend you to sign up and see if you qualify. Apply for your spot right here. If you are a new trader, I don't recommend you to apply at all. Because then I would just recommend you to read my free book, which is the trading warm-up. And you learn about the volume profile right here. You learn how to actually execute using the volume profile. It gives you the foundation, the basis, I would say, about the volume profile, the settings, things like that. Then you can hop into our Telegram for free. Look at my updates as well as my videos, my statistics, right? My trading updates, my personal or my public records, let's put it this way. And of course, my private videos, okay? Private video content on my YouTube channel that you don't have on, or that you don't see on my channel publicly, but there are private videos, okay? So if you are new and you are a beginner, don't apply. This is only for the people that went through some stuff right there. This is for who the gold hybrid trading elite is. And if this is you and you qualify and you applied and you are in it, then I will hop on a call with you as well, a one-on-one introduction call with me personally, okay? So I will get to know you a little bit better. And I've done this with every person, literally every person that is in my group. It's 60 people. I went on a one-on-one call with them, so I know them personally. And I think that's how it actually should be in a community, right? I should get to know the person a little bit. So yeah, I will share the link in the description if you guys are interested in this. Give it some time though, please, because we get a lot of applications and we don't have that much. I don't have a big team at all. You don't need a big team, right? You need a couple of good guys in your team. You don't need a big team. You need good people around you. Small circle. But yeah, okay, we do see a closure above opponent control, so this is actually really, really strong. I mean, I can't deny that, but we're now in our in a new zone, which is this zone again, and this is a tough zone. I'm telling you, this will be a tough zone, a tough cookie to crack. So for us, the TP was valid, and yeah, I'm pretty happy that we got out here. And now we can give it some time here. You can see on the 4-hour candle, this 4-hour candle in the order flow, you can definitely see that the bottom right here is where the most selling took place, right? Now, that is a sign of strength. When you trade above that, that means that all those sellers were, again, shorting the bottom. And it looked very bearish when we started the stream, right? Because if you look at the stream again at the beginning, let me see if you can actually find it. There we go. Where is it? Right here? Yeah. Like, this was literally the chart at the beginning of the stream. Okay? This was literally the chart right here. Now, what happened? A lot of people sold here, trying to trade into the gap. But that never came. We just went for the daily lows right there, and then we reversed up right there. So it invited a lot of sellers right there. And that's what you see on the order flow right there. All those sellers are now stuck in their position, are now trapped. So yeah, this is why I'm saying, look at the higher time frame. When you're in a range, really focus on the higher time frame and try to avoid trading against the higher time frame scenarios, right? Higher time frame support. So if you don't have the order flow, then just look at the daily, or sorry, the 12-hour or the 8-hour, right? And understand that we have that major support sitting there, right? Just look at it from that perspective then. Or the 4 hour, sorry, my bad. The 4 hour. Where you can just see that we're holding that support right there, right? So higher time frame first, then lower time frame confirmation. Yeah. Lovely, I can't get the book from the website. Maybe be patient a little bit. People are receiving the book, but it takes some time. Yeah. It takes some time. Is the Telegram free? Yes, Telegram is free. Telegram is free, yeah. So yes, the goal was indeed for us right now, right, to just make sure that we are staying consistent and we adapt whatever needed. So when you see Lorenzo not streaming, okay, for 1 day or something like that, then don't worry. This is just part of the process, right? There are moments in time where I don't see a valid setup, and I want to give myself some time for the market to develop. Sometimes it happens 1 day. I also had a period where I didn't stream for, let's say, 2 days, but it's only when I really feel it is needed, okay? Where I really feel it's needed, and nothing else. Otherwise, we don't grow our account, right? Until where we believe we can see it right there, and then we'll wait for the better opportunities to come again. So. Okay. Anyways, how big was that move? The move is around 200 pips. We are now still pushing higher, so it is good to see that we are actually pushing higher. Next resistance will be the 43 in case we go. But again, here it becomes a little bit trickier to again get into a new setup right there. Okay. Pretty much. Advice for those holding their long currently, I would throw your stop loss to that initial level, or maybe slightly below it. Okay, if you want to throw it, I would slightly put it below and just do it this way then. Yeah, stop loss at POC. So pretty much the way where we exited right there. If you want to do that, then try that. But it will get a bit trickier here. Right now at the moment, that's for sure. Yeah. So you're only looking for longs right now? Yeah, pretty much only longs because of this reason. Okay, the bounce here on the higher time frame again. The buyers that stepped in here at the bottom again. The sellers that got trapped here at the bottom. That's kind of like a golden combination, right? For buying, for having a long bias. And not a short bias, I would say. Let me know in the chat if you guys understood this long setup, because I'm always curious to see if people understand the trade as well, not just like signals, right? It's also about, do you guys understand the setup that we take and why this was relatively vetted long? Heidi, learning Lorenzo, thank you. Shout out to Heidi. Shout out to Laserton, aka Chris. He is in our elite. So if you guys are joining the elite, you're gonna meet Chris from Canada. Yeah, I'm just watching right now if we re-break the 43 again, or if we stay below this level, and if this is just gonna be the top right now in the short term. How many trades do you usually take a day? Maximum 2 or 3. 2 or 3 trades a day. I don't even recall trading more in the last 6 months to a year. More than 3 trades in a single day. Personally. Yeah. Like I can only make like 2 or 3 good decisions a day. Like really. My brain is cooked after that. Simple. I kind of filtered out a lot of setups that I would usually take to the ones that work the best for me. And I realized I make the same, if not more money, trading less. So yeah, then it's like a no-brainer, right? Less work, less decision making, more money. How you doing? Good? Okay. Oh, the what? The plants? Oh, okay, okay. When do you usually stack or add in your position? Only in a momentum way, in a trend, okay? In a trend, only in a trend, because in a trend, and the momentum here, and we break out and we break the highs again and we retrace into that again. So let's say, for example, we create a higher high. We start to slowly pull back to an area of interest, like a low volume node, for example. Let's say right here, we have like a low volume node. This is one of my favorite setups, by the way. Low volume node, okay? And we tap into that. And the moment we tap into that, price reacts, I enter a long. We're undervalued against the dollar. We have everything correct. We enter a trade. We break the highs, okay? And we retest the highs right there. And that means then we break like the fair value. So it could be that this is the fair value, right? With the volume profile. And we retest this level, okay? Oh, sorry. We retest this level. So let's say again, sorry. We break out, we pull back into the low volume node. I go long here, okay? At the bottom. We create a new high. Okay, we break the highs. So at the highs, stop loss break even, no take profit. We pull back. We have now a new value area, maybe off today or a range or whatever. We pull back, we get supported here. Okay. Then I would look for re-entries there. Okay. And I already entered there. okay? And then I would target the next leg up. And then I would take it until major resistance is reached. So then I would scale into my trade. That's the only way, right? So pull back into an area of support, break out, retest with the volume profile, and then looking for the continuation. We pretty much, the trade that we took today was actually just the retest only of this level for the long, right? Towards that target. So forget about this. We just took this one today, let's say. But normally we would be trading in the pullback, which we did not do today. Today we traded the breakout, pretty much. Okay, the pullback of the breakout, but not the pullback before the breakout, right? So we use the combination of both right there. Okay, yeah. So that is the only way I would scale in. I hope that answers your question right there. Okay. Anyways, I think it's pretty clear right now, guys. To be honest, we are now entering a little bit of a range phase. We took the trade here, the big candle, the big green candle. For now, what I prefer is to let the market rest. We reached our resistance. We probably have to wait for the pullback, a deeper pullback, or a re-break of the highs right there. If you re-break the highs again with volume, the next one is pretty much, the next target would be considered the previous daily highs right there. And that is another move of around 200 pips again, right? But that's the only way where we have to then really close above this with momentum and with some volume. And otherwise, I don't think it's worth it for me to take another setup right there. Or we have to pull back and actually test the VWAP again today during London session. And then the VWAP supports, because there is one thing I've learned. The VWAP is a real thing. Okay, the session VWAP is absolutely an incredible level to pay attention to throughout the day. And it is very, very accurate when there is low volume. I've noticed it is extremely hard to break the VWAP when the market is operating with low volume, okay? So when the volume drops, and it's like the London session or the late London session, and you're around the VWAP, it is an extremely important level to pay attention to. So if you are a scalper, that's what I would do. I would never scalp the high volume sessions. I would take normal trades during the high volume sessions. And if I would be a scalper, I would be trading the low volume sessions around the VWAP. That's what I would do. I've noticed so much more accuracy with that. It's so hard to break a level like that, like the session VWAP, when there is low volume in the market. But that's another topic, okay? So either pullback and then looking for the retest of the VWAP or the rebreak of the highs for long continuations and targeting the previous daily highs right there. All right, guys. I think that's it for me. A little bit of a shorter stream, but we've done what we had to do. And I have nothing else to add right now at the moment to this, to the trade that we took, and also the next setup, pretty much, right? That we just talked about, what the next scenarios could be and why I would be looking at something like that right there. Okay, I think our job is done for today. We made back what we initially lost plus a bit more. So we've done exactly what we had to do today. And that's how we move and build our account publicly, right? We make sure that we are consistent and patient and take back what's ours. All right. Perfect, my friends. Thank you so much for today's session. We keep it like short. I'll see you guys tomorrow again. I hope to leave the range soon because, yeah, I mean, I also want to know what gold wants to do, but keep in mind, we are heading towards the monthly closure. The monthly freaking candle closure is coming in 4 days. And this will be the monthly closure. Okay, so it is extremely important that we close above the 4,500 by the end of the month. If we can do that, we have officially broken shifted structure on the monthly time frame. Okay, that is a big one. That means we'll have major support sitting at the 4200. Of course, this is on a monthly. So think about that. And that sets us up for a W pattern back to the highs. Yeah, long-term, higher time frame, of course. But like, we're not far away from a monthly closure now. And I hope we can close above the 4500. That would be legendary. But let's see what happens. Okay, for us now, the most important is pay attention to the higher time frame. Okay, one thing I can say for certain, that is that the dollar is not weak. Okay, dollar is pushing up. All right, dollar will head to that major resistance, which is that weekly supply zone right here. Okay, this is something to really pay attention to. Weekly supply on the dollar is sitting right there. This is that major resistance on the dollar. If gold refuses to break down right now, and the dollar is pushing up and it's retracing back up, then gold is strong, right? Because gold is valued in dollars. Okay, we're always talking about the dollar value. So if gold is pushing up and the dollar is pushing up, then gold is in relative strength terms stronger than the dollar, if that makes sense. So if the dollar then reaches resistance, okay, what do you think will happen with gold, right? If gold refuses to break down when the dollar shoots up, then it's pretty much, it's basic math to say, okay, if the dollar then reaches resistance and it slows down, that the dollar can continue. So, gold can continue to go higher. So gold is not looking weak at this current moment at all. If we manage to stay in a range when the dollar is pushing higher, it shows that gold is still holding up really well, okay? When we can say that gold is weaker is when we actually break the lows right there. Actually do break the lows and do break structure. Oh, and go from there. I pretty much go from there, okay? Perfect. Anyways. Thank you, fam, for today. Looking forward to see you in the elite. Give it a moment to think about. If you are new, then don't apply. If you're not new and and you have been trading for at least, a year, 6 months, to a year, whatever, you went through some shit, then you can apply for the elite and get to work right there. Links in the description. For now, we're open. This week, we're going to close by the end of the week. And I'll see you guys tomorrow on the live stream again. And let's take another trade tomorrow. Hopefully, let's see if it makes sense, if it's according to our setups, according to our process and everything that we're looking for. Yeah? All right, my G's. Have a great weekend, great rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow, yeah? Thank you, man. Ciao. Thank you, moderators.